Welcome everyone. So we're going to get started. Welcome to this workshop on human-centered robotics. My name is Mike Sudano. I guess we're broadcasting now. My name is Mike Sudano. I'm the co-founder and organizer for Robotics X Tokyo. Forgive me, I've gum in my mouth and no place to put it. I'm just going to wing it. And tonight we're running a special version of our monthly meetup. So normally we meet up here at Venture Cafe Tokyo to network and try and grow the robotics industry in Tokyo. And I was introduced to Brittany Arthur by Tako Urishihara. And he said, hey, talk, you might have a good event. And within like 20 minutes of him introducing us, we were on a Zoom call chatting about what we could do. And we decided to go with human-centered robotics, and we've been talking about ethics and AI and all this very interesting, timely topics. So tonight we're running a meetup outside from 6 to 9 p.m. And then we're also holding this workshop. It's going to be very interactive. There are Post-its and pens and a whole bunch of things. I don't know how interesting this is going to be for the online crowd. I'm very sorry. I don't even know if there's anybody watching. But I will let Brittany take it over from here and explain where we're going. And I'll be in and out doing networking and chatting. And that's it. Here's Brittany. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm on a team.
You're on a team. You're absolutely on a team. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You have two facilitators today. My name is Brittany, and the other one is Adalbert. Adal, you can call him Adal at the back. One of us knows about robotics, and it's not me. So if you want to talk about technical things, you can talk to Adal. However, I'm here to lead you through the design thinking journey. So a little bit basically on what Mike spoke about is that human-centered design, if you never have heard about, welcome, wonderful, how good is this? Can you join this team here? This team, welcome, join us. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything. And we started thinking about, okay, how can we build the two things, robotics, super high technology, and human-centered design? And we came up with a few ideas about how if you are a super robotics expert, you can enjoy the workshop. If you are a superhuman design thinking expert, you can enjoy the workshop. Or if you know about neither, you can enjoy the workshop. So the idea is that we leverage all of you and your different backgrounds to make this a really enjoyable 2 hours. Of course, this is not a super deep dive. This is not a 3-course meal. This is like a taste test. So I'm going to hand over to Adele now to set the stage a little bit while I go and hand out some Post-its to everybody.
So thank you very much. So we were ideating how to create a workshop that could show you what is design thinking and what does that mean for us. Design thinking has been very successful for us here in Japan, but also in the rest of the world, because it's like a very efficient way to find the right problem and then work towards that goal, right? So today we will have two main activities. One of them, we call it an icebreaker, but it's essentially the trailer of the movie. We'll give you a challenge, and as teams, we will work to that challenge. That will be just to warm up a little bit. The second part of today's session will be a small problem that we chose for you. The problem has to do with a societal challenge. Something that is happening in the society, something that is happening in Japan and in the rest of the world, right? I'm expecting that the solution that you will create to contain a little bit of different elements, a little bit of design, a little bit of technology, a little bit of robotics, but it's not restricted to be a robotic only solution. It will depend on the people that is on your table. And at the end of that second exercise, we will share. Each team is going to share their findings, their solutions, and we will show you how to get feedback. Okay? So here comes our first. Do you want to connect or we go to the first? Yeah? So in front of you, you have the most digital technology. Digital because you have to use your digits, right? One of them is the Post-it, right? And the other one is, can I have one of the Sharpies? Thank you very much. So the idea of using these ones, this is like the training 101. There's a reason we gave you a marker and not a pen, right? So you could draw big, so everybody can see what you're drawing. Try to write one idea per Post-it, right?
Everyone perhaps grab a bit of Post-its. And if it's too big, you can just, cut it in half, just like that.
So you warm up. Let's do a quick exercise, okay? I'm going to say a word, and you will have 5 seconds to draw what I'm asking, okay? And the person who draws, who takes longer, I don't know, will find some punishment or something joyful to do, okay? So maybe has to sing. So first word will be apple. Draw it. Yeah, draw it and show it to your team. 3, 2, 1, show it. Now, if you want to take your Post-it, you can pull it on a side, right? So you can paste it on your table or whatever you have a space. Second word, vehicle. 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 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, show. I'm going to make it more challenging for you. Okay? Next word, e-commerce. E-commerce. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, show. All right. Next one. Next word, innovation. Innovation. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much. So let's start. Now that you have warmed up, let's start with the challenge, with the first challenge, okay? Each one of you is a group of a lab, a research lab, right? You have to develop a product. And the first product or the first request is about creating something. The client comes and asks you, hey, I need your help. I want you to help me create something for February 14th, you know, the day of love, St. Valentine's Day. So what I want you to do, please, is I want you to create a vase, a jar for Valentine's Day, right? For that challenge, you will use one Post-it and one Sharpie, okay? And for this task, you will have 1 minute. Do you have any questions? You have to create a jar, a vase, or a jar for Valentine's Day to draw it, okay? Individually, okay? So you will have 1 minute, draw a vase, a jar, a vase for Valentine's Day. You have 1 minute, go. You done? Oh. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, show your art to your friends, to your team. And I haven't seen your Post-its, but I'm assuming at least I can see some hearts, right? You have some hearts around it, right? Yes. And usually that happens when the client gives you the request in the form of a solution. They tell you, I want a vase or a jar in forms of February 14. So you're like, oops, it's a heart. What can I do to make it better? To make the heart red, more red, or to make it bigger? To send it to a facility in the third world to make it cheaper? I don't know. I'm from Mexico, so we're used to that, okay? So then you did such a good job that you receive a second challenge, okay? Thank you very much. I want you to get a new post-it, and this is the new challenge. The client said, hey, I want your help as an individual, same exercise, to create a new way to experience flowers in 2030, 2030. I want you to help me how people can enjoy flowers. For this exercise, I want you to imagine the future. How is it going to be? What are we going to see in terms of technology, in terms of experience? Does it has to be a vase, a jar? Can we do it in a different way? Okay, so with that in mind, that's the only challenge that we have. For this exercise, you will have 3 minutes. Do you have any questions? No? Create how might we experience flowers in the year 2030. You have 2 minutes. Go. I don't know if you're going to see VR, augmented reality, robotics, AI, holograms, quantum, software, hardware, you name it. Invest the rest of the minutes trying to build your solution, and after that, I will give you time to share. Twenty seconds. Okay. Okay, it's time. So what I want you to do is to share as a team your inventions, okay? It will give you 1 minute, so everyone in the table share what you did. After that minute, what I want you to do is to create a new version combining your ideas. All right? For that exercise, you will have 3 minutes. So go. Okay. Now, remember to create a new post-it with your new idea because you will present it. Okay? A new post-it with your new idea, your team idea. Combining the ideas of your table. One post-it per team. I mean, it could be one or two. Doesn't have to be four. Can be just one post-it. Okay, you have 1 more minute to complete your idea. Three, two, one. I think we're done. Thank you very much. So now, this is where the thing is going to get interesting. I'm going to require a volunteer per team. And this is what I want you to do. What I want you to do is like come to the stage and you will have 30 seconds. We want like the essence of your idea. And you will do something like this. Hi, thank you very much for being here. So my idea is about creating a post-it with 4 post-its. It's painted in red and it's super cool. And I'm sure you've never seen this before. I'm happy to share it. I'm looking for funding. And anyone interested, DMs are open. Thank you very much. Something like that. Okay? And then the claps. Thank you very much. The funding is optional. Who wants to go first? Eso. Pásale. Woo, woo, woo. All yours.
Yeah, I'll hold them for you.
Send flowers to your loved ones and they last forever. Our idea is send the fragrance, like you'll send a message as a fragrance to us. With that, we will send, our drone will launch the robotic flowers to your loved ones. And
RoboFlower can combine to make much bigger flowers and form murals on buildings as well for your entertainment, and leave you with a delightful scent.
and show the message in the sky with flowers.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I got it. Who's next? Everybody has to pass. I can make it a democracy. Okay, thank you very much. We have another volunteer.
Hey, okay, so our idea basically is a 3D projected flower with artificial scent injectors, and you can basically have it anywhere in the house, even mounted on a wall. And you have basically buttons or Bluetooth devices where you can change the flower to any flower you want.
So this is a shape and color shifting flower that's magnetically floating for easy organization. And it's you can select your design, you can select the scent, and those combinations, that design, are saved in the blockchain as NFT, and you can share it with your friends. Right. Did I forget anything?
Yeah, and what's especially sorry. What's special about it is that you can customize a flower. It'll be completely unique to you. You can send it to a loved one, and then they have something to grow that reminds them of you. It also ties into the Valentine's Day thing we just did. So yeah.
Yeah, great.
It's time to come with an offer. We'll print their own money.
Hello, I'm Stephanie from Hong Kong. Hi, and here's
I'm Luna from Japan.
okay. Hi. Actually, I don't.
We have some funding, right? I want to invite you to make a little reflection about what happened in the first request versus the second one. The first request was, please design a jar for Valentine's Day, and pretty much look like the same, right? And when we change the request, like, I want you to create a way to experience flowers, this thing doesn't look like the first jar, right? It's completely different. You even were thinking, how can I found this, right? It's a similar exercise, what we want you to do from now on in this workshop. If I tell you, please design me a robot, of course, this is a robot, and this is a robot, and I've worked on this for 20 years, and looks like the same. So the challenge that I'm about to give you is not like design me a jar, but design me an experience. And the experience is inviting you to design. How many of you are designers? I have a surprise for you. I think all of you are designers. You design the way you're going to come from home to the office, the way you're going to pitch an idea, the way you're going to sketch something, the way are you going to convince your friends, your family to take a vacation, to buy a PlayStation 5 instead of something else, right? So the way you do something, the way you imagine an outcome is the way of design. And you design in many, many ways. So today, we will show you a little bit of what we experience in design thinking Japan. The first thing was problem framing, right? Because we have the way we ask is pretty much what innovation is. If you change the question, the answers change, right? That's kind of the most difficult part. How do I generate a good question? Right? Because if the question doesn't make sense, the answer pretty much won't make sense as well. Second part is that it's human-centric. We put the person at the center of the conversation. It's not about creating just a jar, about creating just some flowers. It's every story that you share was, imagine that this will happen. Imagine that you will see this. Imagine that you will experience this. At the end of everything that you're doing, regardless of the change of technology, if you're going to the zeros, to the microprocessor, to one of the 8 layers of the IoT framework, you're hitting and impacting a user at the end of the day. And you want to have that impact. So your design is sustainable. Second part is that you have the chance to visualize it and prototype it. What does that mean? You don't need $200 million to make something and then realize it's not working. The prototype is a way to validate something in an early stage and then decide if you want to move it forward. If the prototype fails, it's good because you don't need to keep investing there. If the prototype is a success, good, because you can keep moving on that direction. So prototyping helps you to validate some hypotheses, some questions. Another one of the most important parts is that it's iterative. You have the goal, and as you're moving to the goal, you're adjusting. Why? Because now we have ChatGPT 3.0. We already said that. But now it's ChatGPT 4 or 4.0. And tomorrow we'll have something new. Do you want to keep steady with the way you design the robot? You know, sense, perceive, act, plan, move, control, you know? Or do you want to adjust to the new technologies, the new activities that you have? That's iteration, to move towards that goal. And collaborative, because you don't want to work in a silo with people that do or think in the same way that you do, because you might be missing something important, something relevant. So this exercise, this first trailer of the movie, was about showing you this. Instead of giving you the theory, I wanted you to experience it. And with that, we balance. User, business, and technology. If you take one of these 3 elements, it might not work. If you have a business and technology and you don't have design, nobody understands it. Nobody will use it. If you have user and business and you don't have technology, it's never going to happen. If you have a very good design, a very good technology, and you don't have a business, it's not going to move very far, right? So design thinking aims to work at the center. And we're very successful to apply this methodology to find the right problem and then scale it forward. It's been proven by many organizations, and it's not kind of a new invention. It's kind of an evolution of the scientific method. And it's working very well. So we have the design thinking methodology, and we have 4 steps. You want to?
All right.
To the other side of the studio.
All right. And so these 4 steps, I'm going to draw them because for me, this is kind of how it all made sense, right? And so another thing we just kind of heard also about collaboration. It's really important that each of you contribute as you as a person, what you know. So that's how we're going to get some really innovative solutions today, not through everyone being a roboticist or everyone being a business person, through you being you. So we really want you to use all the different, maybe even hobbies that you have, all the skills that you have. We want you to be you. So the 4 steps look something like this. The first step is when we want to create something, right? What do we usually do? We want to create something. What's the first thing we do? Build. Great. But that's not what we want to do in design thinking, because as exactly what we just heard from Adal, if we don't find that user need, our business falls apart. And this has been particularly in Japan. Is anyone here based in Japan? I know there's a few people visiting, but if you're based in Japan, you know how quickly Japanese companies want to run to the solution, But what we want to do for our Japanese companies is show them the importance of when you want to build something, to not start here, but to actually go back. And the first thing that we want to do is gather data to understand what's going on in this, what's going on. What do we know? This is what we call divergence, right? Gathering, thinking, open. The next thing that we do is once we've collected all the data about the situation, we say what's important about the situation. And then we get to the middle point, which is we go from what's called an issue to the issue. Has anyone ever been in a situation where what a client says they want and what the client really needs are 2 different things? Has anyone had that incredibly rare moment in their life? Yes, we've all had it. What the clients say they need versus what they actually need are sometimes 2 very different things. This is the part where we find that out, right? So this is what we call the problem space, right? Problem. Another way you could actually look at it is that you could say this is the opportunity space. This is actually the innovation space, because innovation is people and innovation is pain. So if we solve people's pains, that's actually here. The next thing that we move into, once we decide what's a problem to the problem, this is when we move into the solution space, where we start coming up with ideas, all different kinds of ideas, any ideas go. And then we decide, okay, which one of these are garbage or rubbish, as we say in Australia, and then which ones actually might we be able to implement. So this is the 4 steps that we're going to do here today. We're going to download what we all know about the problem, define what we think the core issue is, and the core issue is like the core opportunity. Then we're going to define what that is, move into what are some possible solutions. Now, this is really cool because we have roboticists in the room, we have scientists, we have artists, we have business people, we have all different kinds of people, so we can come up with some really cool ideas. And then after that, we're going to test them with each other, actually. So we are going to jump into, we've just spoken about the double diamond, so we are going to jump into how a robot can assist in a kindergarten in the year 2026, which is 2 years from now. The reason that we didn't choose 2050 is because I don't know about you, but I've seen these robots that can just solve all the problems in your life. That there's these super amazing robots, but I've never seen one. And I feel that there's maybe a gap between where I am today to these incredibly
Yeah, magic happens in the middle.
yeah, it's like, oh, and then this robot will come and like help you, and you're like, oh wow, can I buy it on Amazon? No, not yet. Still in a lab, and you're like, okay. So what we actually want to do is not only just think about robotics 50 years from now and where things ideally go, we want to think about what technology do we have today that we can implement that brings us one step closer, right? Because in design thinking, it's about not getting it right at the end. It's about getting it just the next step right, just the next step. So that's what we want to do today, is just get the next step right. Anything to add before we jump on?
No.
All right.
Good.
If not everyone, I need everyone to have, this is where probably we need to go around with some Post-its and add some more Post-its. Everybody needs like a packet of Post-its in their hand and a pen. So we're going to come out with some, if anyone needs some, I know that we have some yellow Post-its. Some other teams are using blue Post-its if you need some more. Yeah. It's not too If we can have the same one per group, it's great, but I mean, it's not critical at this point. So the two front teams are yellow and the two back teams are blue. And the two black teams are blue. Alrighty. Yeah, so these two. Alrighty, so we have, oh, great. Just a quick check-in of if we make a new team or not. Is anyone from the back wanting to stay and participate? You're watching? Anyone else? You're fine? Alrighty. Okay, team. So this is what we're going to do. For the next, like another thing, for example, that I'm thinking about in terms of technology is that this is like the, maybe I shouldn't say this because it's like being recorded, but this is the Moribiru, right? It's like a super expensive building. But we have like this fan here because it's so hot. I wonder why. Anyhow, all right, okay. So everyone, now is the phase that we are in understanding the problem, right? So this is where we don't have to solve things. And for those of you particularly that are in academia or that are in solving solutions, you're gonna have to stop your brain with all of your human power to not think of solutions yet, right? All I want you to do now is think about what are some pain points? And the pain points are going to be the kindergarten environment. So it can be about the kids, it can be about the daycare workers, it can be about the parents, it can be about the government, it can be about anything, right? And so obviously everyone's from different countries, different experiences, that doesn't matter. We're just going to download it all together, okay? So let's take 4 minutes now, and I want you to just download at the top of your mind, what do you think some of the key pain points are at the moment for families, kids, teachers, around the kindergarten experience? You choose which you want to focus on. Do we have any questions before we kind of open up for about 4 minutes? I love that you said that. It's like tattooed into my brain, so I forget to say it sometimes. One idea per post-it. So for each pain point that you have, I want you to write it on a post-it. For a new pain point, write it on a new post-it. All right? Alrighty, team. Let's take a couple of minutes, and we're going to do a quick download. And team, we're going to do this as a silent exercise because we want to leverage everybody's different experiences, different thoughts. And the best way to do that is to begin with individual work. Let me know if you need any help. Alrighty, team. I want you to take 20 more seconds individually. All right, team, let's wrap it up here. What we're going to do now is we are going to begin sharing what we've written, but we're going to do sharing in a different way. We're not going to do sharing probably as you know sharing. We're not going to go, okay, for example, we're going to begin with Junji, then we're going to go Karen, then we're going to go Stefan. No, we're going to go by theme. So if somebody says, I think A is a big issue. And someone else says, oh, I wrote that too. I want you to put it down, okay? So instead of going person by person, I want you to share your ideas by theme. And so at the end of your sharing, all of your Post-it notes should be on this white paper per group, okay? Alrighty, so we're gonna come around now. We have about 12 minutes for this sharing, so we don't have all the time in the world, but we do have a little bit of time that you can talk through each of your ideas. Do we have any questions before we begin? Okay. Alrighty, team. Alrighty, team. Thank you so much. We're gonna have 30 more seconds to just wrap up any final conversations. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much. We are now moving into phase 2, right? So phase 1 here was what are all the kinds of issues, what are all the kinds of problems that people deal with, right? This is what we're doing right now. What you see here is not people saying that's right or that's wrong. You just start seeing that you're building an agreed picture of 6 people who didn't know each other 1 hour ago. And then all of a sudden you're able to build this picture together, right? So that's what we're doing here. What we're going to do now is slowly move into, bless you, what we're doing is slowly moving into convergence, which is which of all the things that we identified as issues, which one would we say, yeah, this is probably a really big one that we could, that there's big opportunity here. As a group, you can decide that, and we're going to hand out some colored pens now, and you can just write directly on the paper what that's going to look like. So, but also what I want you to do is that as you are writing out, it might look something like this: safety, happiness of the kids, or education, or whatever it might be. But when you're talking about it, I want you to have a discussion about, if you choose safety, for example, if you choose education, for example, what about education? What about the safety? Go a little bit deeper into what does that mean as a team, because we're going to use that as our jumping board, or as our like rocket pad to really get into some ideation. So as a group, decide one, and don't worry too much about it. Just say, you know what, let's just kind of go with this one. We don't have to do any super, voting or anything like that. Just a consulting analysis or anything like that. Just kind of to choose which area do you think you'd really like to focus on, and then what about that area specifically do you find really interesting? Like we had a discussion here in this group, we started hearing about classroom management, but then as we dug deeper, we found out that classroom management, we actually were talking about the kids being focused. How do kids focus, right? So then that's different. So have a discussion. Which area do you want to focus on? And in that area, what about that area do you find compelling, interesting, exciting, sad, whatever it is, okay? All right, everyone, we're going to have about 10 minutes to do this. Hey, teams, can I have 1 second? Hi, teams, can I have 1 second? Okay, so we just had, for example, just to kind of give you an idea for this next step, we're going to move into this how might we, which is we're going to ask ourselves how we can answer a question. I'll tell you why this is so important, about why defining the issue is so important. So we just had a discussion with this team here where we said we're going to focus on safety. And when we said, okay, what about safety? Then we heard, oh, well, you know, if something happens to my son and it's not recorded, how do I know? Then we recognize, hang on a second, this isn't safety. This is sharing real-time updates with parents, right? So this is why we want to get into it, because what we're going to do is, this is, for example, how might we is our middle spot here. This is really where design thinking unlocks. This is where the power is, right here in the middle, not only in the problem space, not only in the solution space. This is when you agree what the problem is. And anyone who works in Japan or is married or has ever been in a long-term relationship knows, I'm joking, that is actually also my husband. He's not only a facilitator, he's also my husband. So you know that, hang on, do you think this is also the problem? So this is life, right? This is not only design thinking, this is life. So it's how might we, and we're going to say solve a big problem, right? And so this, for example, is how might we accelerate drop off and pick up time? That was like one. However, this question, how might we keep parents up to date in real time about what's going on with their child, for example, would be the how might we question, right? So we're going to spend a little bit of time as a group. You can flip the paper over if you like, you can write on it. But what I want you to do is create that big question. How might we solve the problem, right? So, but it's not, you don't have to answer it yet, right? So for those of you that still want to jump into solutions, 1 second, we're not there yet. So if you're saying, you know, how might we keep children safe, remember, what about that do you specifically want to focus on? Okay, so as a team, let's take a couple more minutes to define that, and then we will jump finally into solutions. Alrighty, everyone. Do we have our questions? All right. Okay, everyone. Are we ready? We are now jumping into, excuse me, everyone. All right, we're going to jump into our next phase now. Can everybody do something similar to this group, which is flip over your paper and write down in big letters what your challenge is that you're going to solve, whatever that might be. So, but I want you to write, how might we? Okay. Okay, team. The second thing that I want you to do is I want you to pick up some Post-its. If you need more Post-its, Adal is coming around with Post-its. And now we are reaching everyone. Now that we've decided what the issue is, whatever that is for your team, we are now using that new question as the input for our ideation, right? That is the input for our ideation. When it comes to ideation, we are in a divergent phase again, which means don't worry about if it's possible or not, or if it's a good idea or a bad idea. We're going to talk about that as a team in the next phase, but we're going to do a bit of a sprint now, which is come up with a few ideas ourselves about how we can solve this. Now, remember, because this is a collaboration with our Tokyo robotics friends, we are also going to, and we're also thinking 2026, right? So we can't just create like the perfect robot to solve all of our problems. Unfortunately, that would be really easy. We're going to think in 2 years from now, what kind of maybe technology or more specifically robotics technology can we leverage to help us solve this challenge in the next 2 years, okay? So we're going to take about 5 minutes now, and I want each of you to come up with maybe 2 or 3 ideas. You can sketch them out on a Post-it, 2 or 3 ideas about how to solve this. And as you come up with the idea, just post it on the white paper, okay? All right, everyone, we're going to take a couple of minutes before we check in with each other. Let's just get some individual thinking time, okay? All right, everybody. I think you are fast workers. So what we're going to do now is, as everyone can have your attention just for one moment. What we're going to do now is share your ideas individually, what the ideas that you came up with, and then as a group, you can either combine the ideas, you can choose one set of ideas that you really like, and I'm going to give you a new piece of paper, and you're going to draw out that idea because you're going to present that to our other teams. Okay, so come up now with just share your ideas, kind of start thinking as a group what ideas you'd like to collect, what ideas you want to mash together. And then we're going to give you a big piece of paper. And what we want you to do is draw out what this solution looks like. Okay. All right, everyone. We have about, looking at our clock, we want to be done essentially by about 35 past the hour. So we've got about 13 minutes. Okay, everyone, do you have 1 minute? I'm going to hand over to Adal. We are now going to hand out, everyone, we've just handed out some large white pieces of paper. And this is what we are expecting, something like this.
So similar to the first trailer of the exercise where you presented your way to experience flowers, you will repeat the same thing. I want you to come with a bigger, this is a bigger post-it with a little bit of more information, where you have a cool name, what is the challenge that you try to solve, and a visual way to represent it. Without too much trouble, imagine that you're going to the movies and you see a movie poster. In that movie poster, you can see if it's action, comedy, drama, one person, five person, a car flying, action. It's available on 3D, IMAX. When is it going to be played? Okay? So imagine that you're trying to create a movie poster. Okay? And the movie poster is about the challenge that you've been working on. Okay? In one page.
So what we're going to do is the ideas that you just gathered as a team, combine them, choose one, whatever it is, and then in 10 minutes we're going to present to the other teams. All right? In 10 minutes we're presenting to the other teams. All right, everyone, you have exactly 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to draw out your concept before we start presenting. All right, team, 3 minutes left. When the minute hits 8, so 40 past, we will start our presentations. All righty, team. All righty, team. Time to put your final touches and let's start our final presentations. I always love the scramble. The last scramble is one of my favorites. All right, so we're going to start with this team. So everyone, it's a team effort. So come on up. Everyone, it's a team effort. Alrighty, team. Okay, everyone. So all other teams, pens down. Pens down. We are now. This is it. You're done. Okay. So what we're going to do now is that I want each of you to listen to this presentation, but you are listening in terms of how can you either update this idea? What's one thing that you can do that to make it even better? Or what's one thing that they should change according to you, right? Usually we would do this individually, but today, because of time, we can just do like a quick shout out afterwards, okay? All right, we are handing over to our first team to present this new idea.
I have no idea. Hi. we have two people that have actually worked in the kindergarten, and they've given us really great ideas. And what they really want to do is triple the productivity of each worker and triple their pay. And that's what we want to design a robot to do.
Yeah, so basically the main idea is just to figure out how to make the current efforts of caregivers much more effective, because I don't think we're going to be able to actually attract more people to the job given the current level of work everybody has to do there. So we have created Dango-chan, who is basically a personal little caregiver friend to each student. There's a wearable device that tracks safety. It also collects data, and it communicates with Dango-chan to like actually make sure the student is safe, and manage what like their behavior, or at least track some data on their behavior so that it can be actually it can be programmed in different ways to try to incentivize positive behavior, either through kind of, if they have a tantrum, walking them through exercises to try to manage their emotions, to feel their emotions, to calm back down. Also monitor their safety, and it will also collect and summarize data for the teachers to cut down on the labor they have to do after the students leave. Is there anything I missed?
No, pretty much that was it. But like going along with the incentivizing good behavior, maybe having some, we talked about having some noise or sound that like when they do something correctly, as in standing in line correctly on time, sitting down. Yeah, some type of sound noise that makes them happy and makes them want to do that behavior, just to help teachers move the children faster.
Also, he can currently speak 3 languages, and we're hoping to teach him more.
And just so you know, the name means.
Oh yeah, they love, like, what do children love? They love bugs. What's their favorite bug? Dango mushi for some reason, which are pill bugs. So hence Dango-chan. And the wearable is a dango around their neck.
Alrighty, thank you, team. Well done. Thank you. Alrighty, our next team. Take a seat. Next team, thank you so much. I just want to just take both of them. All right, we have 2 mics, one on the left, one on the right.
No one wants to speak, so I'll speak. Okay, we are quite artistically challenged, so do forgive us. Ours is, yes, we did our best, yes. Our product is called EduTubby, sort of the robot for your child. So the challenge we're trying to solve here is having personalized kindergarten education. So in the education space, we saw that similar to what you guys were seeing with the lack of actual teachers being able to engage individually with children, the idea behind this is to have an interactive robot which is able to basically assess the child, so understanding what the child needs, where they need to be at, and then based on that, using, for example, reference data that's available for them from the cloud, etc., to personalize a lesson or something for their child, and then to engage with the child as well. So that's sort of where we're at. Was there anything I missed, guys? Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. So we looked at, it needs to be able to take visual data into account. It needs to have microphones to be able to take verbal data into account. It needs to have an interacting space where the child can communicate by the touchpad, et cetera, also communicating information visually to the child. And
on the maturity level and the interest, they can change the interest. So they can focus and concentrate in education.
Thank you. Next team, please. We can have, who's ready to go from the back? All right. Come on up. All righty, team, let's go.
All right, so ours is called Dude, Where's My Kid? And it's and essentially it's about reporting accurate details on any type of incident from the kindergarten playground and the kindergarten in general. So we noticed that there's sometimes a lower ratio of teachers and caregivers to children, and sometimes something may happen to a child. You really have no idea what's happened. So we talked you through the journey a little bit. There's a truck, kids might be playing with it, and they might end up like disagreeing. So do you want to go a little bit further on this, Fatima? Do you have the mic over there?
The incident may come from conflict between kids, or maybe something happens, and most of the time when the ratio of educator to children is low, maybe they don't see what happened. So we wanted, like for example, kid falling off from slide, or something happens. So what we are proposing is a robot to monitor continuously. We are using, you're concerned about privacy. We are using edge computing. Nothing will go to the cloud, okay? Everything local. And all visualization and analysis, everything is local. And then the robot, if get something, understand something happening, or report something, it can send it not to the parents. We don't want to immediate, like in real time, disturb them. No, send it to the educators and also to the computer for later to report to the parents. And yeah, anything else that you wanted to add, or you wanted to add? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much, Tim. Thank you so much, Tim. As parents of an almost 2-year-old son, I'm so glad that I can manage these real-time notifications. Imagine if I got a notification every time my son fell down. I wouldn't be able to work. That's great. Come on. Next, last team.
Yeah, so for our team, we started thinking about managing noise for especially children that were neurodivergent. And then we thought more about, well, there's actually a lot of different types of children, and there's some that need a high energy space and they need to be loud, and that's healthy to get that out. And maybe other children need, okay, I need noise canceling headphones, I need to be quiet, I'm getting overstimulated. And we thought of, what if we made the entire place kind of an IoT based, or it would use technology and maybe different types, and it would allow, almost like a Montessori school or something, it would allow the children to move through the different zones for whatever enrichment or learning they think is best. And maybe it would start down here, it'd be maybe more dim, it would relax, there would be ways of maybe some guidance on meditation, sound blocking technology. We have this mid zone. It's more interaction, where you can interact with music. There's a slide. At the top, we have this like running, and it would actually generate electricity when we step on it. And then over here, we have this energy room with like drums, be loud, get it out. And we thought this could be a really cool space that could allow like different children different types of children to learn about each other and interact, but also take time to recharge. Would anyone else like to add anything?
I think we thought that we wouldn't solve all the problems of the world by 2026. So it was kind of like quick and dirty, kind of retrofit, kind of cool stuff. Anybody else?
I don't need the mic. Yes. Okay. Well, you do that.
So a bit more about technology. There are sensors and a bit of AI, and in different part of the day, there could be different environment. So when they are supposed to sleep, the environment will reduce all the stimulation, and at the time when they play, it will be different environment, more like loud and more active. Yeah, brighter light.
Alrighty, team, thanks. Take a seat. Alrighty, and so we have come to the end of the road, only metaphorically. So what we wanted to share with you today was the idea of investing in the problem space before jumping to a solution. If we had said, go ahead and come up with some robots, how would you have really, for example, come up with a concept like, dude, where's my kid? You know, I think, so how would we have done it? So what we wanted to do is, whether you're a roboticist, whether you work in technology or business, or you're an artist, or you do something completely different, understanding what the problem is before jumping to the solution is always going to be worth your time, right? Obviously, our job is to convince our clients how much time to spend there. And sometimes that's, you know, always difficult, but that's the idea. This is something that you can do in your personal life. This is something that you can do in your professional life. Understand what problem are we solving, then go to solve it. Also working with different people, reaching out to different people. We hope you enjoyed this session. Another thing that I want you to do before we even close is I want you to now either pull out your LinkedIn or your business card. I want you to connect with everyone at your table. I don't want you to leave today before you've connected with everyone at your table. And I'm going to pass over to you to wrap up.
So we hope that you learned something. We had 2 hours, and we like very much what we saw today. And imagine the results that you could achieve if you could invest a little bit more time doing this kind of exercise. So as you can see, or what we said at the beginning, we expected that your solution could have a little bit of everything. Not completely robotics, but a little bit of human touch, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of AI, a little bit of anything, right? And that's what solutions do. We don't want to be just piece providers. We want to be solution enablers. So I think in name of Design Thinking Japan, we want to thank you very much.
And we're going to invite you. This event is not yet over. We're going to head out to, there's a space where there's some couches and a table tennis table. And that's where the robotics meetup is going to continue. And Anne is going to present to you some work that she's working on as well. So some super interesting stuff for those of you that want to learn about that as well. And any Post-its that haven't been used up the front, any used Post-its leave on the table. We will, or any used Post-its in the bin, any non-used Post-its on the table. Connect with us on LinkedIn.
Thank you very much. Give yourselves a big
well
applause.
Done, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, small change. Anne is going to present in the open space because apparently that is unused. So the open space, head to the open space.